First, we will recall some of the previous concepts which are related to this chapter. The first topic is rotatory motion. The spinning motion of a body about its axis is called rotatory motion. As you can see in this animation, this is the rotatory motion. The next is the force. A force moves or tends to move, stops or tends to stop the motion of a body. The force can also change the direction of motion. The next is vector quantity. The quantity which required both magnitude and direction for the explaining of a physical quantity is called vector quantity. Introduction of the chapter. In this chapter, we will define like and unlike parallel forces. We also discuss about vector addition and component of vectors. We will describe torque and its application, principle of movements, and in the last equilibrium and its states and its conditions. Like parallel forces, we often come across objects on which many forces are acting. In many cases, we find all or some of these forces acting on a body in the same direction. For example, many people push a bus to start it. Why do all of them push it in the same direction? All of these forces are applied in the same direction, so these are all parallel to each other. Such forces which are parallel to each other are called parallel forces. And what is now like parallel forces? Like parallel forces are the forces that are parallel to each other and have the same direction. Another example, as you can see in the figure, a bag with apples in it. The weight of the bag is due to the weight of all the apples. Since the weight of every apple is in the bag is the force of gravity acting on it vertically downward. Therefore, weights of the apple are parallel forces. As you can see in the figure, these are the arrows on different apples. That is the weight. All these forces are acting in the same direction. Such forces are called parallel forces or like parallel forces. Unlike parallel force. Students, as you can see in the figure, an apple is suspended by a string. The string is stretched due to the weight of the apple. The forces acting on it are, the first one is the weight of the apple acting vertically downward, and the tension in the string pulling it vertically upward. These two forces are parallel to each other but opposite in direction. These forces are called unlike parallel forces. Another example, you can see in this figure, forces F1 and F2 are also unlike parallel forces because they are parallel and opposite to each other. But F1 and F2 are not acting on the same line. Hence, they are capable of rotating the body. Now, the definition of unlike parallel forces. Unlike parallel forces are the forces that are parallel but have directions opposite to each other. Addition of forces. As force is a vector quantity, it has both magnitude and direction. Therefore, forces are not added by ordinary arithmetical rules. When forces are added, we get a resultant force. Now, what is the resultant force? A resultant force is a single force that has the same effect as the combined effect of all the forces to be added. One of the methods for the addition of forces is a graphical method. In this method, forces can be added by head to tail rule of a vector addition. This figure shows a graphical method of vector addition. First, select a suitable scale. Then draw the vectors of all the forces according to the scale, such as vector A and vector B. Take any one of the vector as first vector. For example, first vector is A. Then draw the next vector B such that its tail coincide with the head of the first vector. Similarly, draw the next vector for the third forces, if any, with its tail coinciding with the head of the previous vector, and so on. In this way, you can add any number of vectors. But for this case, we have only two vectors, A and B. So, in order to obtain the resultant vector, now draw a vector R such that its tail is at the tail of first vector A and head is with the head of second vector B. Now the definition of head to tail rule. Join the head of first vector, that is A, with the tail of second vector, that is B. To obtain resultant, join the tail of A with the head of B. To understand resolution of forces, we need to understand some trigonometric ratios. The ratios between any of its two sides of a right angle triangle are given certain names such as sine, cosine and tangent. Consider a triangle which is a right angle triangle CAD having angle theta at a point A. Students, keep in mind that the side in front of angle theta is known as perpendicular, while inclined side is known as hypotenuse. The remaining is called base. Then sine theta is equal to perpendicular over hypotenuse, which means it is a ratio between perpendicular and hypotenuse, and it is equal to BC over AB. Cos theta is equal to base over hypotenuse, which is equal to AC over AB, as base is represented by AC and hypotenuse is represented by AB. In the similar way, tangent theta is equal to perpendicular over base, which is equal to BC over AC, as perpendicular is represented by BC. Mnemonics to learn trigonometric ratios. Dear students, you can memorize trigonometric ratios with the help of this single sentence. Some people have curly brown hair through proper brush. In this sentence, some people have S correspond to sine and P correspond to perpendicular and H correspond to hypotenuse. In the similar way, C correspond to cos, B correspond to base and H means hypotenuse. And the last one, T correspond to tangent, P correspond to perpendicular, and the last B, which means base. Resolution of forces. The process of splitting up vectors, that is forces, into their components is called resolution of forces. If a force is formed from two mutually perpendicular components, then such components are called perpendicular components. As you can see in the figure, this force is formed by two mutually perpendicular components. The first is horizontal component, the other one is vertical component. Why we need to resolve forces into components? Because it allows us to analyze the causes of motion separately in different directions. Students, you can see in this figure, this is the motion of a ball in two directions. The first one is X, the second one is Y direction. As the force is applied in both directions, so we can understand better by using these components of forces. Perpendicular components of a force. Consider a force vector F represented by a line OA making an angle theta with x-axis. Draw a perpendicular AB on x-axis from A. According to head-to-tail rule, vector OA is the resultant of vectors represented by OB and BA. Thus, vector OA is equal to vector OB plus vector BA. The component vectors OB and BA are perpendicular to each other. So they are called perpendicular components of the vector OA, which is representing the force F. Hence, vector OB represents the x component of the force, that is Fx, and vector BA represents the y component of the force, that is Fy. Hence, this equation becomes vector F is equal to vector Fx plus vector Fy. Students, Fx is the horizontal